here are the starters, and since you have them, I'll let you introduce the starter as Dan Eccles is doing on the PA. Go ahead.
Okay, first of all, for the visiting Yoncalla Eagles, who placed first in Region C and winners in the District 5, their starting lineup will look like this. At one guard, number 12, Brad Martini, a 5'10" junior. At the other guard will be 6'1" number 23, Tony Waste, a senior. At forward, number 22, Steve Lancaster, 6'3" senior. And at the other forward will be number 32, Bid Van Loon, though he'll also do a lot of guard work for him. He's a 6-foot junior. The center for the Yoncalla Eagles, 6'4" Jim Martini, number 30. He's a senior. For the Imbler Panthers, they placed first in Region D and came out of District 8. For the Imbler Panthers, they'll start this way. At one guard, number 22, Boyd Rasmussen. He's a 5'10" senior. At the other guard, number 20, James Gorham, 5'10" senior. The forwards, number 44, Brian Spry, 6'3" senior. And number 52, Jared Teeter, a 6'2" senior. The post and center for the Panthers, number 32, Chad Olson, 6'5" junior. We're ready to play ball here at the Finland Armory in the consolation round. The Imbler Panthers and the Yoncalla Eagles. For Imbler, they're clad in white with orange and black trim, black numerals. For Yoncalla, they are clad in a navy blue with white numerals and almost black. Yeah, it is almost a black. There's a toss in the air. Olson gets the tip to Gorham, and the Imbler Panthers will have the ball moving from left to right across your radio. In the front court, Spry now baseline. Rasmussen inside. Olson turnaround shot over to the defensive player. Doesn't go. Rebound pulled down by Lancaster. Outlet pass goes down to Brad Martini. Over on the right side to Waste. Now out to their leading scorer, Bid Van Loon. Left side to Jim Martini. Martini tries to dump it inside to Lancaster. Is tipped away and picked off by Van Loon out top. Van Loon with Rasmussen all over him. Kicks it on the left side now to Brad Martini. Out top to Waste. Waste turns, looks inside to Martini. He scores!
Jim Martini operates real well as a cutter, working the baseline. He comes out high every now and then. He can shoot that one from about 15 feet, too.
Full court pressure by the Eagles, but it's broken by Imbler. They throw the ball down a court, tipped out of bounds by Tony Waste, and it'll go back to the Panthers.
I saw Bid Van Loon come down as a sophomore, and as we noted, there were a lot of people talking about him, and he shoots from the locker room.
Boy, he does. Shot put up on the baseline side by Brian Spry. He hits a three-pointer. It's 3-2 Imbler.
He's already ahead of yesterday's game.
There's a steal tipped away by Rasmussen, goes to Gorham, and then he's fouled in the front court by Van Loon. That'll be Van Loon's first personal foul, first team foul against Yoncalla. 6:55 to play in the opening period. Imbler has the lead. They'll have the ball. They're already starting off, like you said, much quicker than they did last night.
Well, as I said before we got on the air, I said Imbler, if they're up to their game, there's not anybody that can touch them. But
they are a good team, but they sure struggled last night against a very good Sheridan team. Here's a steal along the baseline by the Eagles. Van Loon with the ball up the right side of the floor. He's double-teamed in the front court. Dribbles back out, trying to set up the offense. Van Loon, flagged by Rasmussen, has it tipped away, picked off by Boyd Rasmussen. He's quickly out of the backcourt, one-on-one against Waste. Takes him to the hole, puts it up over him too hard. Rebound Spry, tapped away, picked up by Gorham, and we're going to have a foul on Lancaster of Yoncalla.
It's too bad Boyd Rasmussen isn't built like Michael Jordan with eyes in the back of his head, because he had two players trailing him, Gorham and Spry that time.
He had a good opportunity. Rasmussen took it hard to the glass, but Waste actually did a good defensive job. Imbler with the basketball. Gorham out top to Rasmussen. Now inside, tipped away, picked up. Good defense by Jim Martini. The pass ahead goes to Van Loon, and now we've got an injury in the backcourt. It's Brad Martini who was hit in the face as he was making his outlet pass. He actually just kind of flipped it over the back of his head.
He was facing the opposing basket when he got hit and just flipped it over his head, kind of a shovel pass, if you will, over his head. Well, I'll tell you what, we saw an excellent pass last week into the regional tournament. Remember that one when Fred Fell was on the floor?
That's right. Oh, my, yeah. The no-look flip it behind your back, right?
Yeah, he was laying on the floor and flipped it backwards.
Here's the inbound pass from Lancaster to Van Loon. Van Loon has to go off his hands and out of bounds off of a return pass from Martini.
And again, this game is important if you want to play for consolation. You're gone if you lose here. One more game for the winner.
Imbler with the basketball. Here's a steal by Brad Martini, and then he loses the ball out of bounds. Great hustle. I'll tell you, Yoncalla really hustles around on the floor.
He was on the floor that time and reached and had slid out of bounds with his feet out of bounds, reached back in and tapped the ball.
Inbound pass comes to Spry. Full court pressure put on by the Eagles. Ahead to Chad Olson. He'll bring it up toward the half-court line and then loses it out of bounds. Great play right here by Elwood.
How about the hands? Huh?
I like it. Elwood made a tremendous save. It'll be Yoncalla ball. Inbound pass comes into Martini. Make that Van Loon. Van Loon with Rasmussen on him, and Rasmussen's got to be one of the best defensive players in single-A basketball.
That's a terrific matchup today.
In fact, I'll give you some stats on that one in a minute. Inside pass, Jim Martini. It's tipped away. It's loose on the floor. Martini gets it back, and there's going to be a foul called, and I believe Jared Teeter is going to be called for a push, though we'll see.
That matchup today between Van Loon and Rasmussen ought to be a classic.
Really should. Now, last night, Rasmussen had the awesome chore of trying to hold down Steve Samples, and believe it or not, Samples was 5 of 15 shooting. Shot put up inside by Lancaster, a gimme, and he missed it. But they get the board. Van Loon from 3. He's got the range. He's got the shot.
Van Loon, as I said, comes out shooting out of the locker room, and he's not afraid to put up those three-pointers.
5-3, Yoncalla with the lead. Imbler with the basketball. Brian Spry all the way to the glass. Put it up. He scores!
Brian Spry's a good athlete, too, when he gets down low.
Here's a quick transition play the other way. Martini in the paint, and he's fouled, and it may be Spry.
It might be Teeter as well. We'll see here. Nope, 4-4.
They're going to call it on Brian Spry. His first personal. That is team foul number 2 against Imbler. So now both the Eagles of Yoncalla and Imbler with 2 team fouls apiece. Inbound pass. Martini missed the shot. Rebound Teeter. They got Olson sleeping, but Martini couldn't put it down. Spry with the basketball. We're tied at 5. Right side to Gorham for 3. It's in the air. No, doesn't go. Rebound tipped away, picked off by Tony Waste. Quickly ahead of the pack, he's got Jim Martini to the glass, and he missed the shot. Rebound, Chad Olson. Olson has it tipped away. Rasmussen comes away with the garbage. Rasmussen down the left side. Spry, backhand shot. Yes! What a shot by Brian Spry, who is really picking up his game. He's got 7. And now we've got a traveling violation in the front court by Yoncalla. Travis Foster will check in for Imbler. Spry, who now has, let's see, 240. In fact, he's got all 7 points. It's Spry 7, Yoncalla 5.
Well, you've seen Imbler play before this year because they come out of that Wapatai League.
I've seen them 3 or 4 times this year. They do have good balance. Rasmussen is probably, in my eyes, their best player. Cross-court Foster, way outside. Now inside Brian Spry. Turnaround shot, baseline right, doesn't go. Rebound Waste inside, and then it's tipped away from him by Gorham. And it'll go to, well, actually, they're going to say it went off Yoncalla. Back to the Imbler Panthers. Teeter will inbound. 7-5 Panthers. Inbound pass to Spry. Over to Foster, baseline right. Back to Spry. Inside Rasmussen to the glass. Tipped away. It's loose. But Teeter comes away with it. Missed the shot. Rebound Rasmussen. He goes back up strong. Lancaster blocks the shot. To Gorham. He puts it on the glass. Doesn't go. Rebound Waste. Quickly outlet to Van Loon. 2-on-1 break to Martini. Back to Van Loon. Picked off by Gorham. Gorham out of the backcourt. Across the 10-second line. To the top of the key. Left side to the glass. Puts it up and in.
A little while ago, Imbler had 4 offensive tries at their own bucket. Couldn't get it. And Gorham goes down and steals and comes back.
Coast to coast, put it down. 9-5, Imbler by 4. Van Loon the other way from 15. Yes. He scored. 9-7. Bid Van Loon with 5.
Bid Van Loon is a natural shooter. He's got the green light from the time he suits up.
Here's the pass knocked out of bounds by Tony Waste. Imbler will have the ball on the far side. 3:31 to play in the first quarter. Checking into the ball game for Imbler is number 50, David Eddy, as Boyd Rasmussen will take a break. Inbound pass comes into Gorham. Imbler by 2 at 9-7. Remember, last night they were shut out in the first period, 17-0. Left side, Foster fakes the shot. Drive back out to Gorham. Gorham around the defensive player, Martini, puts it on the rim and down.
Good drive by Gorham that time as he got it tipped, actually, as he started his drive. 4th in the ballgame.
Brad Martini ahead to Bid Van Loon. Van Loon in the paint. Dishes inside, wide open. Lancaster, he scores.
Great assist from Bid Van Loon to Lancaster.
Inbound pass to Foster, 11-9. Imbler by 2. Foster quickly the other way, puts it on the glass, too hard. Rebound, Spry inside. He dribbles it out of the paint. They'll set up the O. To Gorham. Back to Spry from 16. Rim, that's all. Rebound, Brad Martini. Martini wheels and deals out of the backcourt, and then he's bumped and fouled. They're going to say that Gorham reached in, and he picks up the personal foul.
Actually, that time I thought Gorham established good defensive position, but as he was passed, he reached out and got the grab.
Good call there by Alan Perryman, the official who made the call. 11-9. That's Gorham's first personal foul. Imbler leads by 2. They have 3 team fouls now. Van Loon with the basketball. Foster on him. Inside backdoor pass goes to Tony Waste. Can't get the shot. Rebound Olsen, and he throws the ball away to Jim Martini. Now Lancaster to Brad Martini. Right side pull up from 16. In and out. Doesn't go. Rebound loose. And it's knocked out of bounds off Chad Olsen.
Yoncalla keeping the ball alive on the offensive glass, Kevin, real well.
They really hustle well. In fact, both these teams are very quick and aggressive. 2:24 to play in the opening period. Inbound pass, Brad Martini now swinging around Waste. Left side, Van Loon. He drives baseline left, dishes nicely to Martini, and we've got a traveling violation on Jim Martini.
Well, he didn't put the ball on the floor and started his drive clean, and he took the first step and took one more in between.
As usual, the officiating at the state tournament is top of the line. Inbound pass comes into Foster. Foster wheels and deals out of the backcourt, right side to Olsen. He almost travels with the ball. Throws a cross-court pass off the hands of David Eddy, and it goes out of bounds.
Nice effort by Gorham to try to save it at the end line.
2 minutes and 11 seconds left in the first period. Yoncalla with the basketball, trailing by 2. This is Jim Martini, the big man, across the half-court stripe into front court for the Eagles. Lays it out to Bid Van Loon. Back to Martini to the glass. Oh, he missed the gimme. Rebound, Olsen. He tried to put up a left-hand lay-in with no one around, and he came up short. Martini's had some tough breaks on some shots.
Kind of snake bit on that one. He's had 2 chippies.
This is Foster on the left side. Now to Gorham. Out to Olsen. Crossover dribble. Put it up from 14. Rim, that's all. Rebound, Tony Waste. Waste out of the backcourt. Lays it off to Lancaster. Swinging ahead to Van Loon. Van Loon up the right side of the floor in the front court. Behind the back dribble, stolen by Foster, and we've got a foul, and it may be Bid Van Loon. We'll see.
It was Bid Van Loon as the breakaway was Foster on the steal, and he got hit in the face, too.
Van Loon picks up his second personal foul. That's the third team foul against the Eagles. And with 1:33 remaining in the period, let's take a 5-second station identification.
KUMA Pendleton.
Back again here at the Armory. Imbler with the basketball and with the lead, 11-9. Foster for 3. Rim, that's all. Back iron picked off by Van Loon. His outlet pass is tipped away, loose on the floor. We've got a foul on Jim Martini.
Quick hands by Boyd Rasmussen, who just checked in during the dead ball, tipped that one away. And Martini in frustration, who was it he fouled? I believe it was Spry.
Well, I'll tell you, you're right about one thing. Rasmussen has tremendously quick hands. Tom Stanley check in for the Yoncalla Eagles, and it's Tony Waste who goes out. Spry for a 3-point shot. Yes, he hit another one.
That's 2 for him now.
Brian Spry heating up. My goodness, he's got 10 in this first quarter. It's 14-9 in favor of Imbler. Lancaster back to Van Loon. He dribble drives around Rasmussen, puts it on the window and down.
He shot it with the right hand on the left side of the glass. He's got 7.
He is smooth. And now we've got a double dribble on Rasmussen as the defensive pressure was intense. Stanley and Van Loon giving Rasmussen trouble, and he double dribbles the ball.
Something I haven't seen so far is an awful lot of intensive backcourt pressure from any teams here yet.
Van Loon, right side to Stanley. Foster on him. Out to Lancaster. Martini from 16. Yes! Jim Martini.
Squared up, drilled it from the left side of the key for 4.
Looks smooth. 14-13. Imbler by 1. He's got his 4th. Spry out of the backcourt. Up the right side. Baseline right. Turns, looks. Dishes back out to Olsen. Olsen back to Spry. He goes to the drive. Can't do that. Foster now over Rasmussen from 16 and hits.
That was a free throw shot from the free throw line.
16-13, Imbler by 3. Rasmussen with his first 2 points. Here's the steal the other way. Brian Spry with it. Wheels and deals across the half-court stripe. Up the right side of the floor, then pulls it back out to Foster to set up the over. 3 seconds to play in the period. Foster's 3-point shot in and out. Doesn't go. And that ends the first period of play with the score. Imbler 16, Yoncalla 13. We'll be back in 1 minute along the OAB Radio Network.
Monday through Friday, 7 to 4 and 8 to noon on Saturday. Don't just take your trash to the basket. Score big by recycling. It's as easy as a breakaway. walk-away layup and twice as fun. Come see us at Columbia Ridge on Cedar Springs Road, just south of Arlington.
Back again at the Pendleton Armory, second quarter action. Imbler leads by 3 at 16-13. Yoncalla with the ball. Jim Martini left side. Out to Stanley. Now swinging right side to Van Loon. Van Loon with Rasmussen right on him. Inside pass goes to Lancaster. Lancaster around Peter to the glass. Then puts it up and in. Nice shot by Lancaster.
Put it up hard. He's got a kind bounce off the front iron. It went down. He's got 4 in the game now.
Lancaster has good foot speed. He went right around Jared Teeter. Cross court, Gorham. 16-15. Imbler by 1. Here's a shot by Foster. Rim. That's all. Rebound Lancaster inside. He's really playing a physical ball game. Down court pass tipped away, picked off by Imbler. Foster going the other way to Teeter, a little bit behind him. It's stolen by Stanley to Lancaster. Now Van Loon. Van Loon wheels and deals into the front court. Works it up the right side of the floor. Stops and dishes to Stanley beyond the three-point line. Back out to Van Loon. Inside to Lancaster. Stanley now. Stanley against Gorham. Back to Van Loon. Van Loon works it to the left side. Jim Martini goes around Olsen. Knifes inside. Puts it on the window too hard. Rebound comes way outside. Pulled down by Stanley off a nice save by number 40, which will be Brant Miller in the ball game. Here's Lancaster inside, and he travels with the ball.
Traveled before the foul. He got hammered from the backside. I would think that Yoncalla was probably, their half-court game is really not as efficient, if you will, as their transition game. If they can push the ball up against numbers, they're a lot more effective.
Rasmussen with the inbound pass as the Eagles put a little pressure on in the backcourt. 6:40 to play in the first half. 16-15, Imbler by 1. Spry back to Rasmussen, swinging on the far side to Gorham. Gorham back to Olsen at the elbow left. He drives, he stops, he pulls up from 15, he can't get it. Rebound inside Lancaster. Out the Van Loon, quickly ahead to Martini. Martini one-on-one to the hole, put it up and in. Jim Martini, and there could have been a tee on that one as Olsen slapped the backboard.
Backboard, yeah.
17-16, Yoncalla by 1. Gorham the other way. All the way to Payne. Stolen away by Stanley. Stanley out the backcourt. Dishes to Van Loon. Van Loon says, come on, let's push this thing. He brings it all the way to the Payne. Dishes to the left side. Off Martini's hand and out of bounds.
Just like I said a little while ago, their half-court game is not as efficient as their transition game. If they can push it ahead, it looks like Yoncalla really can't stand that much pressure.
Yeah. Van Loon almost looked like he was a little bit irritated here with Stanley for holding that ball up. He wanted to push that thing down the floor. 17-16, Eagles by 1, 5:55 to play in the first half. Gorham with the basketball. Wants to work it to the right side as the Eagles flex out. Spry with it. Baseline right now to Rasmussen. Back to Spry. Spry to Rasmussen. They play catch on the right side. Spry now from 3. He hit another one. He is hot. He's got 13 points. 13 of the 19.
That's his third three-pointer. He only had 2 in the loss yesterday.
This is Brad Martini the other way as Imbler leads 19-17 with 5.5 minutes to go in the first half. Stanley out to Lancaster. Left side, Brad Martini over Olsen. He scores.
That was a tough shot. Olsen was right in his face. I was watching the defensive set from Yoncalla. They're paying very particular attention to Chad Olsen down low.
We're tied at 19 with 5:10 to go in a half. Teeter goes baseline left and scores.
Teeter used his muscle and his size.
We found out last night that Teeter had trouble against a guy like Casey Claus, who's the same type of weight but a lot bigger. But when he's against guys his own size, he's tough. Miller inside blocked by Olsen, but Miller's called for traveling.
I think Olsen created that one, Kevin. He got his hand on the ball, and Yoncalla came down with it.
It'll be Imbler basketball leading by 2 at 21-19. This is Rasmussen with 4:47 to play. An appearance stolen by Van Loon. Van Loon around Rasmussen. He's going to take it all the way to the glass. Rasmussen tips it away. Great deep. But Stanley recovers and scores. Van Loon, who was hit in the head, I don't know at what point, is holding his head. We've got an official's timeout. Gary, that was quite a defensive play by Rasmussen.
It really was. It was a defensive play by Van Loon to start it all here in backcourt, and he took it coast to coast, and I think Rasmussen was setting him up.
But Stanley got the garbage and put it down, and we're tied at 21. 4:32 to play in the first half. Imbler with the ball. Rasmussen on top. Stanley flexing out on him. Swings it right side to Spry. He's red hot. Puts it in the air. No, it doesn't go. Rebound Olsen, though, puts it up short. Pulled down inside by Brad Martini. Martini wheels and deals. It's tipped away by Rasmussen. Picked off by Imbler. Gorham with the ball. To Rasmussen from 10. He scores! Off the glass, Rasmussen put it down. It's 23-21. Rasmussen has 4. Going the other way, Stanley on the right side. Now to Lancaster. Out top, they'll lay it off to Van Loon from way outside, about a 25-footer rim, that's all. Rebound tipped away, and we've got a foul on the rebound.
Van Loon's range is about 25 and out.
Well, he was right at about 25. He was a good, 6 feet beyond that three-point line.
That's an NBA three-pointer in anybody's book.
Jim Martini checks back in. Tony Waste comes in. Stanley and Miller go out for Yoncalla. Foster comes in, and Olsen goes out for Imbler. Van Loon to inbound. Inbound pass comes to Jim Martini. He has good post position and scores over Spry.
Martini's very smooth in and around the basket. He can shoot and hang.
When he gets that ball down along that low block, watch out. He can do it. 23 all right here at the Armory. 3:42 to play in the first half. Inside pass, Teeter, baseline left, puts it up and in.
That was all done by Jared Teeter's size.
That's right.
He's a space eater, boy.
Yes, he did. Good job. Martini from 15, in and out, doesn't go. Teeter has the rebound. Out the pass is thrown away. Picked off by Van Loon. He pushes the issue. Ahead to Waste. Puts it on the glass and down.
Van Loon was waiting for that.
27-25. The Eagles go back up by 2. Left side, Rasmussen drives baseline. Dishes to Teeter. Picked off by Lancaster. Good hands. Outlet pass to Brad Martini. Down the floor, right side, Van Loon for 3. Now it's an air ball. Picked off on the backside by Foster. Foster wheels and deals into the front court right side. Pulls it back. He's 1-on-4, so he has to slow it down. To Spry. Spry drives baseline right, pulls up. He's fouled from behind. Brian Spry has been very instrumental in this first half.
I think Brad Martini might have got away with that one had he not been so demonstrative in his acceptance, if you will, of the foul. He's got 2. Timeout.
We got a timeout on the court. 2:54 to go in the half. 27-20.
State tournament. We hope you enjoy your stay and good luck. When you come to Wendy's, ask for me and I'll serve you a 99-cent single. That's a slam dunk deal, saving you 66 cents. But only if you ask for me, Steve, at Wendy's. Try our salad bar, served fresh daily, fully stocked. Remember, the 99-cent single is waiting for you when you ask for Steve at Wendy's in Pendleton.
Brian Spry, who has 13 now, to make it 14 of Imbler's 24 points, is at the line for one more foul shot. It's 27-24, Yoncalla. Spry hits them both. He's got 15 points already with 2:54 to play in the first half. It's 27-25. Quickly, Van Loon going the other way. Stops, drives, shoots. He is fouled.
Spry got him from behind.
Did Van Loon very quick. He really pushes that ball down the floor. That'll be Spry's second personal foul. And that's team foul number 5 on Imbler. Bid Van Loon will go to the line to shoot 2 shots.
We just saw after that timeout, Kevin, and I was talking about pressure in backcourt. That's the first pressure in backcourt that either team's employed here with 2:48 left in the half, and it was all Imbler, and Yoncalla took it right to him.
Chad Olsen checks back into the ball game for the Panthers, and Brian Spry is going to come out with 2:48 to play in the half. Coach Vogler coming over to the scorers table to question something. I'm not really sure what it is. Maybe the score.
He said his scorebook is not what the official scorebook, or at least the scoreboard has here. So there's some discussion on that.
Okay, they're checking the scoreboard. The scoreboard here says 28-25. Yoncalla by 3 with 2:48 to go in the half, but that is not what Vogler seems to think the score is. They're getting things ironed out here, and we'll have to see what's going to happen. At any rate, Yoncalla is going to be checking Corey Benzel into the ball game next time it's dead, which might be right now. Yeah, Benzel's going to check in, and Lancaster's going to go out. Lancaster has had a very good first half on the board play. He's been very aggressive. Bid Van Loon goes to the free throw line, and for Van Loon so far in the ball game, he's got 10 points.
Quiet 10.
He'll try to add to that. Number 32 in that Eagle uniform puts it down. So it's 29-25. He's got 11. 2:46 to go in the first half. Foster with the basketball for Imbler. Up the right side of the floor. Looks cross court to Gorham. Throws the ball away. Picked off by Waste, and he's fouled by James Gorham.
Well advised pass cross court. He had a lot of distance to cover. They've been getting away with that lob pass, kind of a skip to the wing and the baseline low. but that time it was a little sharper, and the defense picked it up. Tony Waste at the line.
It almost looks like the Imbler coaching staff has seen Yoncalla really over-shifting defensively, and they were going to bring the ball to the right side of the floor and then try to get it over on the weak side. And in that case, Tony Waste was just waiting in the weeds. And he goes to the line and hits. So now it's 30-25, Yoncalla by 5. Tony Waste will try it again.
Yoncalla yet to miss from the free throw line.
Number 23 puts it in the air and misses. Rebound tapped away, picked up by Teeter. Boy, how often does that happen?
Just mention that in the jinxism.
Foster with the ball. 2.5 minutes to play in a half. James Gorham back to Foster for 3. It's in the air. No, doesn't go. And it bounces up and over the glass and out of bounds.
Were there any slams last night?
No,
there's been no slams.
Klaus had an opportunity, and the crowd wanted it so bad, but he didn't. This is Bragg Martini with the basketball. Pulls up from 15. He scores.
Cardinals in against the defense. They didn't pressure the ball.
Nope, they didn't attack the ball defensively at all. And now Yoncalla goes up by 7. That's 4 points for Bragg Martini. 2:05 to play in the first half. 32-25. Gorham with the ball. Looking inside. Can't do it there. They're doubling him out top. Gorham now near side Rasmussen. Inside pass tipped away, picked up. Good defensive play by Benzel. How the pass goes to Van Loon. Van Loon into paint. Dishes nicely to Martini. Missed the shot. Rebound inside by Olsen. Outlet pass to Rasmussen. Rasmussen quickly the other way. To the top of the key. To the left side of the floor. To Gorham. Gorham looking in the block to Teeter. He goes to the glass and scores.
Jared Teeter's got all 6 of his points from the left side today, and they have been point blank.
It's now 32-27 in favor of Yoncalla. The Eagles really missed a great opportunity the last time they had the ball, as Martini just didn't get an easy one. Here's a long shot put up by Waste, and he cans a three-pointer.
Martini's having his problem scoring lay-ins, and Waste drills one from three-point land.
35-27, 8-point lead with 1:07 to go in the half. And we'll have 3 subs in if the clock stops before the half runs out for Yoncalla. Rasmussen has the ball out top. Rasmussen against zone defense by Yoncalla. They're in a 2-3. To the right side to Foster. Inside Teeter, tipped away and out of bounds. It's going to go off Teeter's hands. It'll be Yoncalla ball. For Yoncalla, checking into the game quickly. Bragg Martini is in. Also back in the game is Tom Stanley and Steve Lancaster. It'll be, let's see, Benzel going out, Jim Martini and Bid Van Loon going out, Gary.
I think Imbler was looking to take the clock all the way down. Can't run the baseline, but I was going to say, to continue my thought, I think Imbler was going to try to run the clock all the way down because they're down 8 now and try to get the last shot.
Well, they're going to get an opportunity now as Yoncalla turns the ball over on a baseline travel. In that particular situation there, they're not allowed to run the baseline floor. It's only after a made basket. They tried it and got caught for a travel. Teeter will inbound. Kicks it way outside to Gorham. Gorham back to Foster. Now to Rasmussen. Rasmussen and Foster play catch on the perimeter with 43 seconds remaining in the half. Out top to Gorham. Gorham drives, stops, dishes to Teeter, baseline left, and they're going to play a little more clock. Teeter has it tipped away, stolen. But on the steal, it goes back to Teeter. He travels with the ball. Yep, he got a little out of control with the dribble.
I think my coaching philosophy was right there, but after that almost pick off, they kind of lost it.
So it'll be Yoncalla basketball. 33 seconds to play in the half. Full court pressure by Imbler. Inbound to Stanley. Stanley with Gorham on him. Kicks it ahead to Waste. Tony Waste looking for Stanley. Back to Stanley. He goes to the glass, puts it up and in, and he's fouled. What a move by Stanley, and he's fouled by Teeter.
Stanley saw the opening on the right side of the free throw lane and just drove it hard and challenged Jared Teeter. Teeter got there just a little late.
Boy, he really did a great job. He just did one little crossover dribble, and then he was gone right to the hole.
Put on those afterburners.
Teeter picks up the second personal foul. That's 4 points now for Stanley, who now has a chance to make a 3-point play. It's a 10-point Yoncalla lead. Foul shot is up, no good. Rebound tipped away, and it comes down to Stanley, and he scores.
4-point play.
Well, Olsen just couldn't hang on to the rebound. Stanley picked up the garbage and put it down, and it's a 12-point Eagle lead with 8 seconds remaining in the half. 7, 6, Rasmussen back to Spry with 5. He pulls up from 14. In and out, no good. Rebound batted around, and that ends the first half of play with the score. Yoncalla 39, Imbler 27. We'll take a 2-minute break along the OAB Radio Network.
There's a local
Frustrating game, and then the way they're starting here, I'm sure Chuck is probably really trying to get something going.
Well, there's the horn to start the second half, and we'll be playing 16 more minutes of basketball here, barring any overtime. Yoncalla's taking them right out of the game. Let me check the quarter scores. 13 and 26, 16 and 11. So Yoncalla's owned the first half, as the score would indicate. We're ready to play basketball. Here's Kevin.
Okay, Imbler has the basketball. They're moving from right to left across your radio this second half. Foster out top to Rasmussen. By the way, I'd like to apologize for a mistake that I made in the first half. I consistently called Matt Bragg Martini, and so we'll try to correct that as we go through the second half of play. Bragg is on the floor here to start the second half. Imbler will have the ball out of bounds as it was tapped out of bounds by Yoncalla. 39-27 in favor of the Eagles. Actually, it was a foul. Okay, Jim Martini got his third foul. Here's the steal inside by Lancaster. Outlet pass goes to Van Loon. Van Loon quickly the other way, 2-on-3. Pulls up from 13. Rim, that's all. Rebound Rasmussen. Rasmussen bumped and fouled in the backcourt by Bid Van Loon.
There was a chance there, you know, as being a basketball player, I'm not a basketball player myself, but from what I've watched, the shooter has the idea of whether the ball's going to be short, long, just about which way it's going to go. And that time, Bid Van Loon did not follow his shot and it came straight off the iron.
So the third personal foul on Van Loon's second team foul already here in the second half against Yoncalla with 7:25 to play in the third quarter. Rasmussen, Foster on the left side with the ball. Foster inside to Teeter. Dumps it on the backside to Spry. Banks it down from 15.
I would imagine about the first 2 or 3 minutes of this third quarter is very important to Imbler if they can establish an offense. Nice drive.
Great give and go back to Bragg. He put it down. Bragg's got 6 points, and now it's 41-29. Eagles by 12 again. This is Foster in the front court. By the way, Spry, with that last basket he made, has 17 points. He's got the ball inside on the low block, tipped away, picked off by Van Loon. Van Loon going the other way, coast to coast to the glass, blocked from behind. Great block by Rasmussen. Goes to Waste, cross court, Van Loon inside to Martini, picked up. Ahead to Teeter now. Teeter lays it to Gorham. Gorham to the glass, missed the shot, but he's fouled by Van Loon, and that's going to be his fourth.
That may take Yoncalla right out of its offense right now with Van Loon with only 6:36 left in the third. He just picked up his fourth.
Van Loon, who averages 19 points a ball game, is going to have to take a seat, I would imagine. 6:36 to play in the third. Stanley's going to have to come in. Van Loon trying to express himself to the coaches who are saying, wait a second, pal, you got 4 fouls. That's not good. Stanley checks in as Gorham hits the foul shot. 41-30 now. Yoncalla by 11. And Gorham will try to cut it to a 10-point ball game. James Gorham, the left-hand guard, puts it in the air and down. He hits them both. It's 41-31. Gorham has 6 points. Full court pressure by Imbler. This is Bragg with the basketball in the front court. Lays it right side, Martini, and he has it blocked from behind, but a foul on Rasmussen.
Rasmussen last time down when Yoncalla was off on offense, blocked it from behind and really hammered it. And when he hammered it, it went hard off the backboard. They got the ball in transition the other way. He could have easily had 2 personal fouls on 2 possessions. As it is, he's got his first. They called it the other way, didn't they?
Yeah, they called on Foster instead, so that's his first foul. Yoncalla will inbound underneath their own basket. That's the first team foul against Imbler, too, by the way. Matt Bragg will bring the ball in. Inbound pass to Jim Martini. Turn around over Spry. Blocked by Spry. Rebound tipped out. It goes to Stanley, and he scores.
Yoncalla really quick to get the loose ball and stick it back.
43-31. Eagles by a dozen. Foster on the right side of the floor. Stanley flexes out on him. Foster pulls up, gives it to Spry. Back to Foster. 6:10 to go in the third. Foster to Rasmussen. Rasmussen dribbles into the paint. Looks inside, pulls up from 10 too hard. Rebound picked up by Rasmussen. He goes right back to the glass and he's fouled.
Surprising Boyd Rasmussen at about 5'10", plays about 6'2" or 6'3".
He really is aggressive, and he's so quick. Olsen checks back in for Imbler, and we'll see. I believe Foster is going to go out. Or is he? Yeah. 6:01 to go in the third quarter, and Rasmussen now will have 2 shots. He'll need them both to make it a 10-point game.
Yoncalla already has posted 14 fouls with 6:01. Just 2 minutes gone. The next one's bonus.
Rasmussen hits the first foul shot. It's 43-32. Yoncalla by 11. Rasmussen tries it again and hits them both. So we're to a 10-point difference now, 43-33. Down the floor, pass goes to Tony Waste. Waste brings it across the 10-second line up the left side of the floor. Stops and dishes out to Stanley. Stanley, right side to Matt Bragg. Bragg out to Tony Waste. Waste, left side to Stanley. Stanley looking to Bragg. Good defense by Rasmussen. Now he does go to Bragg. He goes hard to the glass. Can't get the shot. Rebound Spry. Outlet pass ahead to Gorham. Gorham 2-on-1. Lays it to Rasmussen. Blocked by Waste, and a foul is called. What a block by Waste.
Let me check here. Waste is what, about 6'2" maybe?
Oh, he went up strong.
6'1". He played about 6'6" that time, and he came down over Boyd Rasmussen's back, but he really didn't touch him. That was a great block.
It really was. He pinned it against the glass, but actually he had actually initiated the block before it hit the glass, so there was no goaltending. But they do give Waste a foul. Rasmussen's shot is good. 43-34. He came from behind and just said, Rasmussen will try it again, and he hits them both. So now it's an 8-point game.
Really critical, as I said, Kevin. It's bonus the rest of the way for Imbler for 13 and a half minutes. They've only got 1 team foul. The other way, Stanley.
Yeah, he goes coast to coast, misses the shot. Gorham has the rebound. He goes all the way to the glass, and he's fouled.
And every common foul now will stop the clock, and Imbler has a chance to pick up 2 cheap ones every time they go to the line with no time off the clock.
I'll tell you what, with the foul situation the way it is, Yoncalla is already over the bonus, and we're going to have are we going to have a timeout or not? Let's see. Yeah, we do. Timeout, 5:22 remaining in the third. Yoncalla up by 8. We'll be back in 60 along the OAB Radio Network.
Everyone at the C&D Drive-In, the C&D Bakery, and Jim Wick.
Quick service and conveniently located at exit 210 across from Weimar. Indian Hills, Texaco for all your gas and diesel needs. Best of luck, teams from Indian Hills, Texaco.
Everyone at Inland Empire Bank wishes the local teams good luck and have fun. We're behind you 100%. And remember, Inland Empire Bank is your local bank committed to people and community. Member FDIC.
Back again at the Armory, James Gorham at the line. First foul shot is up, no. Hits the front of the iron short. We were mentioning before the commercial break that the foul situation is such that Yoncalla is already over the bonus, and Imbler could go to the line an awful lot down the latter part of this game because they'll go every time they're fouled.
Every common foul will stop the clock in Imbler's favor. You know, and you get 2 shots there. You know, you make the first one, it's a chance to pick up 2 cheap points.
Gorham hit the second foul shot. Here's a loose ball on the sideline. It actually went off the leg of Stanley and out of bounds. Imbler gets it back. So now with a 43-36 difference, Yoncalla up by 7, but Imbler has the basketball.
And they really have the impetus, as I said to start this, about the first 3 minutes of the third quarter is going to be very important. It's all Imbler.
Is it an 11-4 run in this third period? I believe, yes. Gorham has the ball in the front court. Imbler coming back. Rasmussen shoots, misses the shot, and there's a foul on a rebound. Chad Olson going over the back of Jim Martini.
Well, you can't fault Chad Olson for that. I think a rebounding foul on the offensive board, you know, it shows you're being aggressive, going after the miss.
Olson with just his second personal. That's the second team foul against Imbler. Yoncalla with the ball. Of course, they have Bid Van Loon on the bench with 4 personal fouls, which is affecting their play. Down the floor, Lancaster. Back out to Stanley. 4:45 to play in the third quarter. Yoncalla leads by 7. They have the ball. Brad Lancaster, right side, Martini, knifes between 2, puts it on the window, no, doesn't get it, gets his own rebound, though, puts it up, it's blocked from behind by Olson, he gets it back, and then he's fouled by Teeter. Teeter is not excited about what happened. Martini threw the ball up to the glass, it ricocheted off the rim and hit Teeter in the head.
Martini had 3 point-blank shots again before he got fouled, and you could hear the slap. It was very audible, but that's what the defensive man has to do. He's there. He's not going to give you a free rein.
43-36, foul shot by Martini is good, and that's 44-36, Yoncalla by 8. Jim Martini will try to make it a 9-point ball game. Number 30 in his navy blue uniform puts it in the air and missed this one. Rebound offensive, though, to Tony Waste. Turnaround shot, baseline right, short. Rebound picked up by Teeter. He shot a fall-away baseline shot and didn't get it to go. Gorham the other way, on the glass, no good. Rebound loose, picked up by Stanley. He's got Lancaster ahead of the pack. Gives him the ball. He scores!
Lancaster had been knocked on his backside down here the other way and was just getting up.
It's now a 10-point Eagle lead. 3-point shot by Spry. Doesn't go. Rebound inside, pulled down by Bragg, and then he steps out of bounds. It'll be Imbler basketball.
Bragg lost his footing as his foot slid onto the sideline, and he still had possession of the basketball.
I can tell you one thing. I will not forget that number 13 is Matt Bragg.
If it was like me, you get all the others wrong, you get that one right.
Yeah, that's right. There's a loose ball on the baseline, and now Imbler loses control, and it'll go back to Yoncalla. Miller checks back into the ballgame. That's Brant Miller. And checking out is Tony Waste with 4:02 to play in the third quarter. Yoncalla up by 10, 46-36. Near side pass, Lancaster across the 10-second line. Gives it now to Stanley. Stanley almost carries the ball. Works it up the right side of the floor, then back out to Bragg. Matt Bragg back to Stanley with 3:45 to go in the third quarter. Yoncalla fighting off an Imbler comeback attempt. Jim Martini goes to the dribble. Back out now to Bragg. Inside, wide open. Miller puts it down.
Nice look from Matt Bragg. He saw the man cutting across the free throw lane. He was all by himself.
3:27 to play in the third, and that's the first 2 points for Brant Miller. This is Spry on the dribble, puts it off the glass too hard. Rebound, Rasmussen can't get it. Teeter has the board, and we got a foul inside.
Stanley, I believe.
We're going to call it on Lancaster inside. Instead, his third, is that right? Well, we've got 4. The board's got 3. We'll have to check it as we go. That is his 4th. Good job, Dwayne. You're right on top of things. So he's got 4 personal fouls with 3:20 to go in the third quarter. 48-36, Yoncalla by a dozen, but Teeter's going to try to change that. And now, with Lancaster having 4 fouls, he's going to have to come out of the ball game. Number 42, Corey Benzel, will check in, a 6'4 junior.
So they have Bid Van Loon with 4, and now Steve Lancaster with 4. With 3:20 left third quarter, Imbler's not out of it.
Shot by Teeter's good. And now it's only an 11-point Yoncalla lead. You're right, Imbler just keeps hanging in there. All it takes is one good run, and you're right on top of things. Teeter will try to cut it to 10, and he does. So Jared Teeter hits them both, and free throws are going to be critical for Imbler all the way through the rest of this game. 48-38 in favor of the Yoncalla Eagles. Martini, Jim Martini, out top now to Stanley. Behind the back dribble, goes left side pass to Jim Martini. Back out to Miller. Miller on Spry, with Spry on him. Back out now to Bragg. Matt Bragg working against Rasmussen. Out to Stanley. 3:57 to go in the third quarter. Yoncalla leads by 10. They've got the ball. Bragg over to Benzel. His shot from 15 is good.
When in doubt, launch it.
He put it right in the hole. Nobody was on him. They gave him the uncontested 15-footer, and he said, okay, fine, I'll hurt you with it. 50-38, 12-point Yoncalla lead. Here's a three-pointer by Foster. In and out, no good. Rebound tipped away. Teeter comes away with the garbage and scores.
Jared Teeter has had a monster basketball game on the offensive glass today.
He's got 10 points now. Jim Martini gives it back to Stanley. 50-40. Yoncalla by 10 with 2:20 to go in the third. Inside pass, baseline left, put up by Miller. Blocked. On the loose ball, Bragg gets the garbage, and there's a foul on Rasmussen.
Rasmussen with the Matador defense reached out that time as the player went by him.
So with 2:16 left in the third, James Gorham checks back into the game for Imbler. And they'll send Rasmussen out. He only has 1 personal foul, so he's played a very clean defensive game.
He might be getting a little winded, though, if that's a possibility. I don't think he does, but...
Here's an inbound pass to Stanley. Yeah, they'll probably rest Rasmussen for the remainder of the third quarter. This is Martini off the drive. Doesn't go, but Stanley with a good offensive rebound. He beat Foster to the board. Over now to Bragg. Back to Jim Martini. Martini back out to Bragg with an even 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. Stanley, as the Imbler Panthers are in tough man-to-man defense. To Jim Martini. Out top to Bragg. He thought about the three. Goes inside from 14 instead, and he banks it down.
Straight away, hit it off the window and straight through. He's got 8 in the ball game.
12-point lead again for the Yoncalla Eagles. This is Foster out top. 52-40. Yoncalla leads, and here's a kick ball. Here
New
goes
clock.
the Panthers. He covered it well. He had a hand and a foot out there. Now we got a timeout. 1:37 left to go in the third to score. Yoncalla 52 into 40. Back in 60 along the OAB Radio Network.
Hey, look at that. Pendleton has a Burger King now.
In town, you can afford to take everyone to Grizzly Bear Pizza. Great pizza, good prices, and fun. That's what Grizzly Bear Pizza is all about. Grizzly Bear Pizza near Kmart on Southgate.
Imbler has the basketball, and they throw it away along the end line, and it'll go back to Yoncalla, who leads by 12 with 1:27 to go in the third quarter. And now foul occurs in the backcourt. James Gorham got a little bit out of control defensively and buffed Stanley, and that'll be Gorham's third personal foul. Tom Stanley was fouled. That is now the 15th foul against Imbler, so now both teams are over the limit.
Just a little while ago, about 3 minutes ago, Yoncalla had their 15 foul and put Imbler in the bonus. Imbler only had one team foul. Now they are sending Yoncalla to the line.
1:25 to play in the third. Tom Stanley at the free throw line to shoot 1 and 1. Foul shots in the air and good. That gives Yoncalla a 13-point lead. 53-40. Stanley now with 9 points. I think that is the biggest margin, if I'm not mistaken, by Yoncalla. Stanley hits them both. It's now a 14-point lead. 54-40. 1:22 to play in the third quarter. Rasmussen with the ball on the left side of the floor. Cross-court pass goes to Foster, and he can't hang on to it and loses it out of bounds.
Another one of those ill-advised passes from Imbler on the offensive attack.
They're trying to overload one side of the floor and isolate one guy on the backside, but the long pass isn't being made. 1:12 to play in the third, and Yoncalla, who leads by 14, could have a larger margin if they should score before the end of the third period. This is Bragg. High post pass goes to Bensel. Back over to Bragg. Bragg on the right side. Out top to Miller. Now inside over the head of Corey Bensel and out of bounds.
I thought maybe Yoncalla would spread the floor a little bit. They looked like they were going to spread the floor on the attack and take it down for the last shot.
Imbler needs to score badly here before this period comes to a close. 14 points is a tough deficit in 8 minutes of action.
Especially with Yoncalla's playing on the offense.
This is Foster on the right side. Inside to Olsen, and he's bumped and fouled from behind by Bensel, I believe.
As I said earlier, Yoncalla is really aware of Imbler's Chad Olsen in the low blocks. They're both fronting him and playing behind him as well.
Well, Olsen's a good post player, though he doesn't have the strength that a lot of post players have. He does have good skills. He'll go to the line. 42 seconds left in the third quarter. Olsen's foul shot is up and in. So Chad Olsen with his first point of the ball game. Surprisingly enough, Olsen averages about 14 points a game. He scored for the first time with 42 seconds left in the third quarter. Now he hits both foul shots, and it's a 12-point Yoncalla lead. Inbound pass to Stanley. Stanley across the 10-second line. Remember now, Yoncalla has been able to hold off Imbler without Bid Van Loon on the floor. Near side pass to Bragg. In fact, Van Loon and Lancaster both have been on the bench. This is Jim Martini around the defense, loses the handle and drops it out of bounds.
It was a good move. He got his man in the air, and he went around him, just lost the handle.
He really did. Jim Martini's had a frustrating ball game offensively. James Gorham with the ball, 20 seconds to play in the third quarter. He drives inside, tipped away, picked off by Yoncalla. Ahead to Stanley to the glass. He scores! He's fouled!
They'll count it.
Rasmussen tried to gamble and knock it out of his hand as he was going up with the shot. He fouled him. Stanley held onto the ball, put it in the hole, and he'll try to complete a big three-point play. That's 12 points now for Tom Stanley. Jim Martini checks out as I would assume brother Brad Martini checks in.
Stanley's had a good game off the bench today. He's got 12 points. He really kept his body in good shape that time, protecting the basketball.
He hits a three-point play, and it's a 15-point Yoncalla lead with 14 seconds left in the third quarter. 57-42, Eagles with the lead. Spry, right side Foster, back to Spry with 5, 4, three-point shot on the way for him. That's all. Rebound, Gorham. He's fouled, and he can't get it to go down with 2 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
That was an NBA play there, Kevin. When you hear the whistle, throw it toward the hoop.
I'll tell you what, Gorham with a real heads-up offensive board play, and they needed that. 15-point lead by Yoncalla. 2 seconds left in the third quarter. Gorham needs a couple of foul shots here. The left-hander puts it in the air and misses the shot. Rebound loose. Rasmussen comes away with it. He's fouled at the buzzer. He'll go to the line.
That's incredible. 2 fouls with 2 seconds to play in the third quarter against Yoncalla, and sends Imbler to the line. They can't cash.
Well, let's see now. Boyd Rasmussen's going to go to the free throw line to shoot 2, so we'll keep it here until the shots are completed, and then we'll take our 1-minute break. Rasmussen's first shot's in the air. He missed it. Let's try it again.
Little pressure. Nobody on the free throw lane.
57-42, Yoncalla. Second shot is good. So it's 57-43 at the end of 3. We'll be back in 60 seconds with fourth quarter action along the OAB Radio Network.
Hi, this is Steve Meyer. Ask for Steve at Wendy's in Pendleton.
C&K Farm Equipment Repair repairs any kind of farm equipment with 24 hours, 7-day-a-week service. Charlie, Karen, Andrew, and Elizabeth wish all the Pirates well at the state tournament. And give them a call, 922-3301, for all your farm equipment repair needs.
You're listening to exciting State A tournament basketball on the 5,000-watt sports voice of Eastern Oregon.
3 quarters of action in the books with the Yoncalla Eagles leading by 14 at 57-43. Yoncalla had the ball in the front court. They throw it away, and a foul's committed.
Yoncalla up by 14 without 2 of their major players, impact players, if you will. Steve Lancaster and Bid Van Loon sat out almost the entire third quarter, and they're still on the vines.
In fact, they built their biggest lead with those 2 guys on the bench at 15 points just moments ago. Rasmussen missing a foul shot. Olsen with the rebound, tipped away, picked off in the backcourt by Stanley. Stanley quickly the other way, throws it away. He tried to hit Bragg Martini on the left wing, and he just met him too much.
And went right through everybody. Stanley's had a good game off the bench today, not only scoring, but running the offense.
He is a quality kid off the bench, Stanley, in place of Van Loon, who's on the bench with 4 fouls. Gorham with the basketball right side to Foster. Foster back out to James Gorham. Gorham, 1 bounce dribble to Foster for 3. It's in the air. Short, doesn't go. Rebound, Bragg Martini. Martini in the backcourt. Dishes now to Stanley. Stanley across the 10-second line up the left side of the floor. Rasmussen flagging him. Out now to Bragg. Matt Bragg almost travels with the ball. Back to Stanley. Inside to their big guy, that's Bensel, and he puts it down.
Bensel found himself a little too far into the basket, just backed out and kissed it off the window.
That's their biggest lead, 16 points, 4 points for Bensel. Left side to Gorham. Now to Rasmussen for 3. He hits. Boyd Rasmussen. And that cuts it down to a 13-point game, 59-46. Rasmussen with 12. Stanley the other way, up the left side of the floor. Rasmussen's on him, tighter than a blanket. Out now to Bragg Martini. Martini to Bragg out top. Inside, posted up, Bensel over Olsen, blocked by Olsen. Rebound tipped away, and it's going to go out of bounds. They say it goes off Yoncalla.
Bid Van Loon back in for Yoncalla and Jared Teeter for Imbler.
This is the point where the Imbler Panthers are going to have to make a run. They're down by 13. They've got a little bit of momentum going their way, and they need to cash in. This is Gorham with the ball across the 10-second line. Works it up to the top of the key. They've got Rasmussen on the left side, so they work it his way. Gorham looking inside, now swing it back to Spry. To Gorham, left side, Rasmussen drive baseline left, pulls up from 12, doesn't get the bounce. Rebound inside, pulled down by Bensel. Outlet pass goes to Stanley. Stanley all the way to the glass, puts it on the window. He scores! He's fouled!
Stanley's very impressive, and he is only a junior.
I'll tell you what, he is impressive. I agree. He's got... Gorham picks up his 4th foul. Okay, for Stanley, he now has 15 points. That's coming off the bench and doing a good job. David Eddy checks back into the ball game for Imbler as the Panthers fall down by 15 points at 61-46. And checking out of the ball game was Gorham. At the free throw line is Stanley for a 3-point play, and he missed it off the back of the iron. Rebound, Rasmussen, who pushes the ball quickly. They've got a 3-on-2 the other way. To Eddy, he can't hang on to the ball, and he travels with it.
The numbers were right for Imbler, and the pass was right. He just couldn't handle.
5:59 to go in the ball game. Yoncalla by 15 points. Inbound pass, Van Loon, back over now to Bragg. Matt Bragg across the half-court stripe up the right side of the floor. Out to Van Loon. Van Loon will run the offense from the top. Rasmussen on him. To Bragg. Got about the 3. Kicks it back out instead now to Miller. Brent Miller out to Make it now Van Loon out top. Right side pass to Matt Bragg. Bragg looking inside, can't do it there. Gives it instead to Stanley. Baseline left now to Bragg. Shot over Spry, partially blocked. Pulled down inside by Teeter. Outlet pass to Spry. Spry with Bragg on him. Tipped away. It's loose on the floor. Good hustle by Bensel. And then Spry tries to tackle him. They're going to call a jump ball. I thought we were in a wrestling match here. I was looking for the hammer lock there.
Well, I'll tell you what, between Bensel and Spry that time, I think the foul could have easily been called against Brian Spry.
Yeah.
He was really, really aggressive going after that loose ball. And I think the referees just had to stop it, so they called a hell ball.
Yeah, in fact, at one point, it didn't even look like he was going after the ball at all. He was just going after Bensel. Spry with the ball. Out to Rasmussen. Now to Teeter, and he throws it away. Rasmussen's pass was not a good one, and it squirts out of bounds.
Down there where the big guys really can't get it, down around the ankles.
We got a timeout with 5:09 to play. Yoncalla up by 15. We'll be back in 60 along the OAB radio network.
At Pendleton Grain Growers Appliance Centers in Pendleton and Milton Freewater, you'll get more than you bargained for when you...
Fred Meyer has all the hot new styles in Nike, LA Gear, and Reebok. Fred Meyer Clothing Store for the entire family. Good luck, teams, from Fred Meyer at 216 South Main.
The Riverside boys have done great so far, and Eastern Oregon Farming Company wishes them the best. The team spirit keeps the youth in high school sports going, as it does for any business. Eastern Oregon Farming Company says team up together, and we'll all do our best. You're listening to State A Basketball on KUMA Pendleton.
Well, Yoncalla had trouble getting the ball back inbounds that time and had to call another timeout, so we'll keep it right here. Yoncalla 61-46 over Imbler.
Plus,
Yoncalla kind of flat from the free throw line, shooting 70%, which is not bad, but they've only had 10 attempts. Imbler 14 out of 17, much better on the percentage and 7 better on the attempts.
of course, a lot of that was due to the early fouls in that third period to set Yoncalla in a bonus situation. This is Stanley with the ball going the other way for Yoncalla. He's double-teamed as Imbler's really going after the ball. They know with 4 minutes and 59 seconds left and down by 15, they've got to make something happen quick.
Imbler's matching up on the defense now as Yoncalla comes across center court, and they're picking him up late on some of these offensive thrusts, and sometimes they're picking him up in backcourt man-to-man.
Foster got the foul, his second personal. Stanley goes to the line to try to add to his 15-point total, and he does. He hits the first one. That's a 16-point lead. That matches their biggest lead. And Yoncalla at 62-46 will try to extend that here. Stanley's next shot is up and in as well. So now they have their biggest lead at 63-46, a 17-point lead. Imbler with the basketball. 4:55 to play. The winner goes on into the consolation championship game on Friday morning at 10:30.
Saturday.
Make that Saturday morning. Thank you. The loser is finished. Here's a long shot by Rasmussen. Doesn't go. Rebound Stanley. They've got Miller ahead of the pack to the glass. He scores! And now Yoncalla has a 19-point lead.
Assist bit Ben Loon. He looked up, put it on his man, and he just went to the iron.
Spry for three the other way, and he hits. He's had a quiet second half. After 15 in the first half, he's got 5 in the second half. And now it's 65-49 in favor of Yoncalla. 4:20 to play in the game. Bid Van Loon with the ball. Rasmussen on him. Right side pass now to Bragg. Out at the elbow to Miller. Swing it left side to Van Loon. Van Loon checks the defense. He'll bring it back out top and just play a little clock to set up a good offensive play. Left side pass now to Stanley. Back over to Van Loon with 4:02 to go in the contest. Matt Bragg, elbow pass, Bensel, backdoor pass, Stanley, blocked by Olsen. Picked up on the baseline by Van Loon. Out to Bragg, now back to Van Loon as Yoncalla keeps the ball. Miller at the elbow right. Olsen on him. Back out top to Van Loon. Inside backdoor pass goes to, Stanley puts it up. Nice reverse layup.
I was just thinking during that set, that's 19, by the way, for Stanley. Don't you think some guys are born to play basketball? Bid Van Loon was born to play basketball.
Yes, he is, and Stanley sure accents him well. Here's a steal by Yoncalla the other way. 67-49, Yoncalla by 18. They have the ball and a chance to get their biggest lead with a bucket. This is Stanley out top with Foster on him. Now to Bid Van Loon. Van Loon drives inside, and there's a foul. Rasmussen, I think, running over Stanley.
I think Stanley took the worst of that.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Rasmussen is a very strong kid. Bensel checks out of the game for Yoncalla. He gave the Eagles some quality minutes at the post. And it's Lancaster who comes back into the game. For Rasmussen, he's got 3 personal fouls now. 3:12 to play in the contest, and it looks like Imbler is dropping their heads a bit at this point.
Well, they have nothing to be ashamed of. They come here being one of the 8th best teams in the state.
That's right. They've had a great season, and who knows, still 3:12 to play. Foul shot put up by Stanley does not go. And we evidently had a foul on the rebound. Olson whistled for the foul, so it'll be Brent Miller who goes to the free throw line. There's lots of basketball action at the state tournament. If you're listening locally, you got to get on down here this afternoon, this evening, and watch some great high school basketball action. Miller hits a foul shot. It's a 19-point lead. He's got 5. He hit the second one. He's got 6. And now Yoncalla has their biggest lead, 69-49.
It's been Yoncalla's game from the tip.
Yeah, Imbler with the ball. Gorham to Rasmussen off his leg, picked off by Stanley. To Matt Bragg. He pushes the ball quickly down the floor, up the right side to the baseline. Now out the pit, Van Loon. Van Loon with Rasmussen. Rasmussen picks his pocket in the back court. Rasmussen ahead to Spry. Spry quickly in the paint to the glass, goes to the window and scores. Brian Spry with a good strong move. Spry now has 22 points. Actually, he should have 24, I think. The other way, traveling on Miller. So Miller travels with the ball. 69-51. Yoncalla leads by 18, and Imbler with the ball with 2:35 to play. Gorham to the top of the key. Looks to the left now, shoots a 3-point shot. It rims twice, doesn't go. Spry gets the board. His shot's rejected. They're going to call it jump ball.
I didn't see who got the rejection. There was a bunch of hands in there wearing blue jerseys.
So it'll be Yoncalla basketball with 2:27 left. Inbound pass to Van Loon. Kick it ahead now to Stanley. Stanley up the left side. He's going to push it toward the window. Now to Miller. Over to Lancaster, and he buries about a 6-foot jumper. 71-51, Yoncalla, and the Eagles are going to advance on into the Consolation Championship Saturday morning. Shot by Rasmussen doesn't go. He gets his own board, and he's fouled on his return shot. It'll be Brent Miller, I believe, or is that, no, Matt Bragg, I think, on the foul.
Imbler will clear its bench.
Yeah, mass substitution coming in, so we'll have a whole crop of new ones. David Eddy checks in. Dan Fine checks in. Also checking in for Imbler is Travis Foster. And number 34, that would be Alan Spry. Number 40, Russell McDonald. So they'll have McDonald, they'll have Eddy, they'll have Rasmussen as Fine has to wait. Dan Fine will have to wait. As Rasmussen's at the free throw line.
Bragg checks out for Yoncalla, and Bunce checks in.
Shot by Rasmussen goes down. So for Boyd Rasmussen, he now has 13 points. Next shot is up and does not go. Rebound Miller. Miller's outlet pass goes to number 10. That's Bunce. Bunce back to Stanley. Stanley across the 10-second line with 1:55 remaining in the contest. Yoncalla leads by 19. They have the ball. Bid Van Loon against Travis Foster. On the left side of the floor. Back out top now to Lancaster to Van Loon. Van Loon looking out top now to Stanley. Stanley with McDonald on him. Goes around him. Dishes on the left side. Kick it back out top to Bunce. Bunce on the near side. Van Loon inside to Miller. Miller swings it back out. They're just playing some clock. Lancaster. Van Loon from 5. Yes.
Van Loon leaned into the defense and got it. That was a tough shot.
It really was. 73-52. Van Loon's got a